Okay, I see what they mean now about being on the dot. This is a little intimidating. Hi, everybody. I'm Billy Goldman. I am with Intel. I am here to share with you what I have been up to for the last 4 years, which is creating social film. I've worked with 2 partners. One is Toshiba, and the other is Dell. At Intel, there's the direct side of the house, then there's the partner side of the house, and I'm on the partner side. Excuse me. Originally, when I started with social film 4 years ago, Toshiba had a bit of a dilemma in that the average age of someone that would buy one of their laptops was, anyone want to take a guess? It was 45 years old, which for a brand, that's kind of a death knell, and they're not reaching the younger generation, the younger audience. And the younger audience basically thinks, oh, that's a PC for my dad. And Intel at the time had a very similar issue. Not that we were really didn't have the brand awareness, but we were losing relevance with this audience. The millennials basically said, yeah, Intel, yes, it's there. It's in this device right here, isn't it? And even if we weren't there, they assumed we were. And so with that kind of mindset, we kind of approached advertising with a new kind of lens. We needed to reach the millennial audience, we needed to surprise and delight, and we needed to look through a lens of what if advertising were created today. So keep that in mind. I'm going to share with you a case study, if I can get this to work, that'll kind of wrap up what we have done with social film. And before I hit play, keep in mind social film is basically where we create a blockbuster movie and we mash it up with social networking, and we give the audience the opportunity to participate.
How can you take one of the most iconic campaigns of all time and revitalize it for a new generation that uses computers mostly for social media, movies, and video games? Introducing Inside Films, a partnership between Intel and Toshiba that launched the idea of social films. Hollywood-quality productions combined with social media features. The first project was a thriller. It told the story of a girl named Christina Parasso who was kidnapped and locked inside a dark apartment by an unknown stranger. Left with only an internet connection and her Toshiba laptop, she instantly reached out through social media for help in the film. In real life, the character used the same channels to talk to the audience, 24/7. Hashtag Save Christina Parasso even becomes a global trend on Twitter.
To all my new friends, we thank you. It's what's inside that matters.
To keep social film fresh, Inside Films radically switched genres in 2012, launching a fantastical romantic story called The Beauty Inside. The movie told a story of Alex, a man with a strange condition. He wakes up every day in a different body.
They say it's what's on the inside that counts. Well, it's kind of hard to count when nobody can see your insides.
One day, Alex falls in love and struggles with how to have this relationship. And because Alex has a different body every day, we even invited the audience to play Alex in his most intimate moments.
I called her 3 times today. Her voicemail picked up. I hung up every time.
To surprise and delight the audience once again, we followed that with a comedy called The Power Inside. Celebrating the most powerful Intel chip to date, the strange story told of an unusual kind of alien invasion, and of the only guy with the right internal strength to defeat the bad guys.
What's happening?
She's coming for you, Neil.
The whole world is relying on you. Do you understand me? The whole world, Neil?
I need a little bit more time. I think a little bit more time, and I'm okay. I'll be in, I think.
Running for 3 consecutive years, Inside Films is the world's longest living and most successful branded content campaign ever. It has reached more than 200 million views worldwide, won Effies, multiple Cannes Lion Grand Prix, and was the first advertising campaign to ever win an Emmy competing against regular entertainment programming. A proof that when branded content is at its best, the audience won't just watch your commercial, they'll fall in love with it.
All right, so that gives you a flavor of what I've been up to for the last few years. The success of those films was pretty significant. And really, each one had a new level of innovation, a new level of engagement with the audience, and allowed us to basically build and grow essentially a platform of viewers that have really stuck with us since the first film. It's not often that you can find a marketing campaign that is actually repeatable. And here we are, we're now on our fourth film. What Lives Inside is currently out. It's available on Hulu. I'll show you a trailer at the end. But each of the films had a wild success with the audience. The audience interacted in such a beautiful, beautiful way through all the social mediums, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. We achieved an average age for all of the films of about 23 years old across all of them. The first film was just focused on brand. It was just a brand campaign. Of course, with success, the expectations grow. So the second film had to do the same kind of brand campaign and the same brand lift of about 10 to 12%, but also had to achieve sales. And so we added into the mix a demand component and partnered up with Best Buy, where we gave away $100 off Orbitz travel, which I had done a media buy with. And the third film, I actually had the dilemma of not having enough money to actually promote it. And so I partnered up with Spotify and Skullcandy and Skype, who brought not only a demand component to the films, but also helped amplify the films as well. So we moved from 50 million views to 70 million views to 74 million views for each of the films. So continue to grow the audience over time. I'll be around to answer questions on these later if you guys like. Oops, let me go back. So when it came time to actually do a fourth film, the question was, could we really do it? Toshiba at the time was shifting their focus to B2B, and so Toshiba fell out. And Intel looked at this and said, you know, this is such a beautiful platform. This audience has stuck with us year after year after year. You know, it's really hard for us to walk away and abandon something this successful. And, you know, as a content advertiser, you know, there's the perfect storm out there, right? I mean, it is so incredibly noisy. 100 hours of video are uploaded on YouTube every minute. It's a little crazy out there as far as what's happening. And price hikes in particular, it costs me 10 times what it cost me 3 years ago to get the same kind of viral lift for my social films. And I can no longer afford that. Organic reach, you know, the formulas are changing, right? They're changing all the time. You can't get what you used to get on Google and YouTube and on Facebook. You know, when I post something as a brand on my Facebook page only, and you have liked my page, even though you have liked my page, you are only seeing 6% of my posts. Only 6%. I mean, the reach, unless I pay, then of course you're gonna see those, right? But without paying, you're not seeing much. So it cost me 10 times what it used to cost me to really promote things. And so this time around, I was like, you know, does it make sense to do what we're doing anymore? You know, the second film was the 6th most viral ad campaign of that year. I can't achieve those same kind of viral lift any longer. And so when it came time to doing it this time around, I went to Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and Yahoo. And I said, look, I am creating amazing content. And I want to give it to you guys. And let's talk about an exclusivity. And so in the end, I negotiated with Hulu. They have a 6 weeks exclusivity on my current film. It ends May 6th, where I can then do a broad promotion. They're promoting it as content, as film content, right? So it's not being positioned as an ad. I own the ad before it plays, so I get to play my own ad in front of it. They're putting it out there, they're recommending it. It took over the masthead on the main page. And in this way, with these kind of partnerships, it made sense to move forward and do a fourth film. They gave me a view guarantee as well, which helped. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys the official trailer for the fourth film. This can be found on Hulu today. And like I said, they have the exclusivity until May 6th, so I'd love for you guys to go out and check it out. And I'll run this for you, and then I'll take Q&A, so start thinking about some questions.
For your father, the world was one big adventure after another, just waiting to be discovered. He saw the world in such a beautiful light. You did too once.
Taylor and I would always sneak down to his dad's workshop because there's always some new amazing creature or monster. How is this possible? You're real? I went out to my father's workshop, right? And it was my dad's show, but real.
What happened to the boy inside you?
I just wanted to be normal. And now I'm here in this place. It's all about to fall apart.
All right, thanks. So I'll tell you, I only had 15 minutes to kind of share with you guys. Otherwise, I'd take you down a path of how this really happened. And I'm happy to share that with you. But if you have any key takeaways from this session, I'd like to tell you, challenge yourself and think about advertising as if it were being created today, right? It really puts a different spin on it. You're not out there creating print. You're not out there, pushing things out, the same stuff that you're pushing through this channel and pushing through that channel. You really need to create it for that channel, for that audience. And that's something that we have really, really focused on when we've created social film. Find new ways to achieve virality. Obviously, I had a challenge. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? If we're going to continue to survive, how do we do that and how do we achieve that viral lift? It's going to be a challenge moving forward for us. And then it's good to be scared. I've been scared every single time we've made one of these. The first film was a very scary concept to begin with. Girl trapped in a room, how'd she get there? What happened for a brand? It's like, oh no, this is a bad place to be. But never has my heart pounded so much when I've been pitched a concept. And I have to say, as a marketer, you don't get to feel that very often. And I was scared. And it's like, wow, if I'm scared, this has got to be something. And I've been scared for every film. And I look forward to hopefully doing number 5. And I welcome you guys all to think big, don't be afraid of being scared, and think about advertising if it was created today. Thank you. So I have 2 minutes on the clock. Would anyone like to ask any questions?
Yeah, we do have some time.
Yeah. I'm gonna step out of this light if I can. Is there a way to step out of the light? I hate this light.
Okay. My question is, how did you get the powers that be within your organization to let you take that first investment? It didn't say, let's scale it and make a little YouTube video and see, not that YouTube videos aren't great, but start with a YouTube video and go straight into a blockbuster.
I get this question a lot, and it's the right time, the right place, the right people, the right amount of money sitting there, right? There was no really magic answer I can give you. We had a dilemma with the Intel Inside program, which had been created, 27 years ago, where it was really created for the advertising tactics of 27 years ago. And at the time, Toshiba was not utilizing the funding that we have for co-marketing. And I went to them and I said, look, we're going to redesign the Intel Inside program. I have a whole year of no rules. You have a problem reaching this millennial audience. We have the same problem. I said, let me go and do something daring, brave, amazing, and let's see what comes of it. It's going to be money that's going to go poof anyway. It's going to disappear. I'll do it all for you. And Toshiba said yes. And because it's on the partner side of the house, there's very few people I actually need to talk to internally because of how the money flows. So it's Toshiba that pays the agency and I reimburse. And so because of that magic formula, I had very few people internally to work with.
Did you have to change anything internally to make that happen? I mean, working with Pereira and then working with Drake and having all these big names, and then you're not making just a YouTube video. Was there any sort of like internal jiggering you had to do with like how you guys worked with your partners to make it happen that was different from what you were doing in the past?
No, not really. With the Intel Inside program and our partner, the way we work with our partners, it's a matter of determining, what the right strategy is to reach the right audience and making sure the money is utilized. My biggest job is to make sure that money doesn't go poof and it actually gets used.
Great. We have time for one more question. Can you talk about your budget?
Can I talk about my budget? I get this question a lot too. I can tell you for that first film, I did not have $10 million. I consider, I have this bar, and maybe it's inaccurate, but a $10 million bar, and then I'll start to consider television. But I was trying to reach the millennial audience anyway, and they're not even on television, right? And I didn't have the $10 million, and so it's like, okay, let's go digital. It made the most sense, but I had less than $10 million.
All right. Thank you so much,
All right,
Billy.
thank you, everyone.
We're going to take a quick break. There's some refreshments outside.